Hi guys, Miss Clausen here again, and now we're going to go over PowerPoint. You should open it up and see that you're already logged in by seeing your initials in the top left-hand corner, but if you aren't signed in, go to Settings and sign in there. Once you're logged in, we have a lot of options to choose from, so we could just start with a blank presentation, or we can use one of these awesome presentation styles they already have for us. My personal favorite is Mesh, so that's what I'm going to use for this presentation. Now that we've started a new presentation, the very first thing we always have to do is save the document to OneDrive. So we'll click on the three lines, click Save, pick where in our OneDrive we want to save it, rename it, and then click Save. Never forget, save first, always. You don't want to lose a whole project that you spent a bunch of time on. If you're working on an assignment or a PowerPoint that you've already worked on before, you can go back to that main page and you'll see all of your recent documents. Or you can click the File folder and you'll be able to open from OneDrive one of the projects that you've already been working on or have saved. Just like in Word, you can go click on that Share button and invite other students to be a part of this. So if you're working on a group project or group presentation, but just make sure you're only inviting the kids who should be in there. As a reminder, your teachers can always see who you've shared a document with, so you should only be sharing it with the people who it's supposed to be shared with. All right, now we're ready to edit our document. So as it says, we're going to double tap to add the title. And once we do that, you'll see the home ribbon pop up, which is pretty much the same as Word. The one thing that's different that you'll notice is that over on the left, there's a slide with a plus sign, which just means add a new slide. And then to the right of that is layout, which is going to mean change the layout to whatever you want. So the rest of those editing tools are pretty much the same on that ribbon. The one thing that's different is under the two A's, you'll find word art here. And that's just always something that makes your presentation a little bit more fun. And then we also have shapes over on the right-hand side. Just like in Word, if I have the shape selected, you'll see that shape ribbon come up with a bunch of editing tools where you can change the color or format. If you don't have it selected, then that ribbon won't appear. So just tap on that shape and you can edit. Now we're over to the Insert tab where you can again do new slides or change the layout. We can also insert tables, which would be great for presenting data. Just like the shape, the table ribbon is only going to appear if you have the table selected. So if you don't see that ribbon, tap on the table. We can also insert pictures here. We can insert photos from our photo album. We can insert photos that are being taken by the camera. One thing I think is really cool is that if you split screen with Safari and search up whatever you need for your presentation, you can actually just drag and drop photos into your presentation. This is really helpful when you're doing any sort of research project to just automatically get that info over without having to screenshot it or anything, just drag it out and into your presentation. PowerPoint also has this insert stock images area where you can use professional photos. So if I did trees, I can find this really nice palm tree photo, so you don't even have to go to Google or anything. This is really cool for backgrounds and just making it look a little bit elevated. And then lastly is icons, which again is kind of like clip art, but it can really make your presentation look really nice if you put a little graph next to something that's about data, or a little pencil against something that you want writing about. But icons can be really cool. You can change the color and format of those as well. Moving on to the draw ribbon, this is similar to Word in that you can write into your presentation. So a lot of teachers will provide you with their notes and then you can just write in extra information. Again, you can make your marker bigger or smaller, and then you can use your zoom box here. That's kind of why we set it up, is that a lot of teachers have you taking notes, so you can use your zoom box, write bigger, zoom out, and it's smaller. So that really helps with taking neat notes in class. A third way is that you can write big, and then we have this lasso tool, or if you circle the word, then you can resize it, kind of like we could in Word. One other feature I really like is the ink to text. So if you write something and then lasso it and click ink to text, it will change your written words into texted words. So for example, say, now it's typed out, say. The same thing goes for ink to shape. So if I draw out a square or a circle, lasso it, and then click ink to shape, it will automatically change it into a nice form of that shape. So this is really helpful, especially in geometry notes or anything math related. It can be really helpful. If you can't already tell, I really love PowerPoint. I think it's great for taking notes. And one thing I really like is the design ideas. So if you've already put in some pictures and stuff ready to go, Instead of you formatting it and making it look all pretty, PowerPoint has this amazing thing where you can just click design ideas, and it will automatically format into something lovely. So I would highly, highly recommend you use that. Going over to the transitions tab, just be careful when you're picking transitions. Try to use the subtle ones. We really don't need origami or folding things. You don't want your transitions to distract from the content you're trying to present in class, so pick something a little bit subtle and professional. Once you've done that, you can then apply to all slides, and it will obviously apply to all slides, and now your presentation will look great and be ready to go. I have a very similar rule for animations. So animations can be helpful if you want things to maybe just appear on the click, but just be really careful. You don't want things spinning in and spinning out and making the person who's watching your presentation dizzy. Okay, now we're ready for slideshow. So if you go over to the slideshow tab, you'll obviously be in presenter mode. One thing that I really like about PowerPoint is we can click those 4 arrows, and this is presenter mode. So these are my notes. This is what I can see, but nobody in the room can see this. So this is essentially taking the place of the old-fashioned note card. So you can be looking at this and you can be rehearsing your speech while the people in your class do not see your notes. I love it. So you can type notes in here or back on the slides. You can also do some writing tools in here. You can add highlighting. You can even laser pointer if you hold down your finger. You can black out a slide if you're presenting and you don't want anyone to see what's going on there. So lots of nice tools in here. One thing that's new that I really like is the rehearse speech over on the left. So I can actually practice my speech. It will time me. It's going to count how many likes and ums I have. It's going to give me feedback. So if you are practicing for a presentation or a speech, I highly recommend using this. It's an amazing new feature. And then finally, you can add those notes by clicking notes down at the bottom, and that's going to show up then in presenter mode for you to do your speech. It's awesome. So, yay PowerPoint, on to the next video.